Welcome back to the channel, everybody. I'm Flash, and thank you for coming back. I've been on hiatus, if you will. I haven't made a video in, I don't know, a couple of months now. I've lost track of how long it's been. For those of you that have stayed around, for what it's worth, and a couple of you that have subscribed since then, appreciate y'all for hanging around, and I'm gonna keep, a more consistent flow here. Just real quick, I want to give a shout out to the homie Prashawn for kind of jump starting me a little bit. We had been talking a little bit here and there about some stuff over the past few weeks, and just kind of got me, not that I wasn't headed towards getting back on here, just kind of jump started my mindset a little bit for what it is that I want to be doing here. And that's just bringing good, honest content that people enjoy revolved around Marvel Snap. So that being said, I didn't necessarily have a whole fleshed out, like, oh, we're gonna be talking about this and that. Did I get Black Knight? No, I didn't get Black Knight. But before I start my video about, what I did kind of want to talk about are my thoughts on Black Knight. If I was like a whale, or if I was like a content creator that was a little bit further along in my venture and had the resources to kind of get every single card. Now, granted, I have a mostly complete collection. I've been playing the game since day one it released globally back in, October of last year. I would get every card, but again, like I said, I mostly have every card, and I try to get as many of the new cards as possible. Like I got Man-Thing when it came out because it was tokens, and I have extra tokens to spare because I just do, and I don't spend 6K on cards anymore, and I don't get ultimate variants. Nor will I spend 6K on cards going forward. You either spotlight cash for those Series 5 cards, or you use your 3K tokens to get the Series 4 card, which is what I did with Man-Thing. I want to save my cashes for, I want to get Nico, because I think Nico is going to be much better than people are giving her credit for. That's one man's opinion, and I'm definitely going to get Werewolf by Night, right? So I might hold off on Black Knight, even though I'm a huge fan of the discard archetype. I'm a discard player. Discard has gotten me to Infinite a couple of seasons here and there, and it's definitely one of my top 3 favorite archetypes in the game, hands down. So I would eventually like to get Black Knight. I'll probably wait till the December Spotlight Cache, when he's in the Spotlight Cache with Serene, I believe it is, and I think that's the one with Lady Deathstrike, which is another card that I don't have, which I would like to play because Destroy is also one of my top 3 favorite archetypes. So, and she's starting to really find a home right now, which is nice to see. Nevertheless, that being said, let's kind of transition here so I don't spend all day just talking about that one thing. Let's get into what I wanted to, since I had 0 in mind, I want to get it to the deck that I had been, again, shout out to the homie Prashawn for showcasing one of my decks that me and him were kind of brainstorming right before the Triple M came out. We'd been kind of going back and forth the decks that card might work in, and I put together a Mobius ongoing list, which he showcased on one of his YouTube videos. And I kind of wanted to make some adjustments here and to kind of pull the curtain back a little bit into my brain of how things work. Now, I do like ongoing, but as it shows here, now this, I had already made some slight adjustments to the video, what was in his video. I don't think Jean Grey was in it. I had added her. Now, I am also a huge fan of Thanos, and you'll notice that Thanos is not here. I didn't want to, I have a Thanos deck that kind of focuses around ongoing already, so I didn't want to like just stockpile so much Thanos all over the place. I wanted to see if this could just kind of work as is without Thanos, and maybe turn the dial a little bit towards the lockdown side of things. I love locking down. I love your opponent. I love to make sure you snap and try to get 2 cubes at least out of your opponent once they realize that they can't play into any more locations and they can't win. Then they kind of just retreat. So here's what we're gonna do. There's still, I'm gonna take Jean Grey out because there's still a lot of Elsa. Elsa's still huge. People are starting to play Loki again, which why Triple M is in here. Now, Luke Cage is a card that I'm putting in a lot of my decks right now, but it's not really required in this deck for defensive purposes because pretty much everything is ongoing, right? And aside from Spectrum, nothing is adding points, adding permanent points, right? Ongoing, point addition is not, permanent addition. So if that makes any sense. Now, meaning basically that Shadow King can't undo the effects of ongoing abilities. For example, Shadow King doesn't work on Null. Null's an ongoing ability. If you try to Shadow King Null, it's not going to work. Shadow King works on Taskmaster, right? Because it's a permanent increase. It's not an ongoing increase. It's those finite details that can be sometimes a little confusing in this game. So let's take out Jean Grey because I've noticed people not having trouble throwing a card into Jean Grey and just being able to play 3 other cards in another point of the board. So, and because this deck is built the way it is, you're almost hindering yourself by having Jean Grey in here, because you can only play. Now, granted, the deck isn't designed in a way where you'll be playing a laundry list of cards, but let's take Jean Grey out. Excuse me, I've been sick with what I believe was the flu the past few days, several days, so I'm just now starting to feel better, but still don't feel great, so I apologize. But I want to get this out while I had the time and the space and the energy, and nobody's around, nobody's home, so I can get this done. Here we are. So again, I'm not gonna try to rush through this, but I don't want to be here all day doing this. I know, you don't want to sit here all day watching me do this, right? But again, sometimes it's fun to watch the creative process. Now, I want Professor X in here just because, like I said, that's the ultimate in lockdown card, right? In which case you have to have Jeff, which is why I have Jeff in here already. Jeff is just great. In 90% of the decks that you make, you can just put Jeff in it, right? Even if it has no, Jeff is not a card that needs a specific synergy. It's arguably the best 2-drop in the game, arguably the best card in the game, period, right? And that's big talk. Now, in taking out, now I'm gonna leave Mojo in. I'm gonna leave Mojo in because even though I'm taking out Jean Grey, there's still a lot of Elsa around, right? So Mojo can be helpful in a defensive way. You just have to be careful when you play it. You don't necessarily want to just play Mojo on turn 2 or 3 for that matter. You want them to put a few cards into a lane and you're like, okay, I'm putting Mojo there. Because now they've committed 2-3 cards to a lane, and if they drop Elsa somewhere else, you know they're going to want to play into that lane to get some more power going. Whether that ends up being a Jeff or a Nightcrawler or a Vision and they can just move it out, sometimes you got to take that chance. So let's leave Mojo, let's leave Ant-Man. Armor is not necessarily a card that is required here because, again, its main role in this deck would be more of a defensive tactic because nothing here individually gets up over 9 power, right? So even Mojo gets up to what, 8 because he's +6. So I'm not sure armor would just be playing a defensive role if you went up against a destroy deck, which, to be fair, you're not seeing. At least I'm not in my pocket meta. I'm not seeing a ton of destroy decks. So let's take armor out for now. Definitely Professor X, but when I get down to the 5s, we'll throw Professor. Now I'm thinking, because there's no Thanos here, excuse me, Psylocke might be good here. Because at some point you might want to ramp. Professor X on turn 4 is still is still great, right? And speaking of Professor X, one of the quintessential cards that goes with Professor X usually is Daredevil. Another card that I'm a huge fan of. Now, if I put Daredevil in here, that prompts to like, okay, what do you take out now to make room for Professor X? Because Blue Marvel and Claw stay. Iron Man, I think, stays. Now, and I know most people would look at this and go, just take Spectrum out. I'm like, yeah, but I like Spectrum. I like the surprise of Spectrum. Because that's all. Spectrum will, until this card is buffed in some way, will just continue to be a surprise card. Because nobody's expecting Spectrum. Come on. And for that same reason is why Iron Man probably has to stay. I think Iron Lad might be able to come out of here. Good card. It's good. I've had Iron Lad hit Claw. So you play Iron Lad on 4 and then Claw on another lane on turn 5. And you are crushing the board. I've had that happen. But doesn't happen often. Let's take out Iron Lad. Even though Iron Lad's a very good card. You don't have Iron Lad. You have a chance to get Iron Lad. I know it's still... Is that card still 6k tokens? I'm not sure. And it's only recently that I've been like really using the PC client again. I thought there was a way you could see if it was a Series 4 or a Series 3 card here in the PC client, but I don't know. Maybe not. Or maybe you can, and I just don't know how. Which, man, I had the chance to get what? Oh, okay. I had the chance to get really good Professor X variant. I missed out on the Noir variant. I know. And I didn't get the Midnight Suns variant. I liked it. I just didn't love it. I wasn't like, but I desperately need, and I don't like the Pixel one. I want that Noir variant to cycle back into my shop desperately. So I think this could work. I know you're looking at it and it's like, this doesn't look great by any stretch of the imagination. But I think the lockdown effect of Professor X, because even like if you get Daredevil down and you get Professor X, you can surprise fill out an empty lane, and now all of a sudden your opponent is like, okay, that lane is cut off and now I have to contend with this power in these other lanes. Yeah, good luck. So let's try it. If this doesn't work, then guess what? It doesn't work. No big deal. But I just wanted to try to put something out there that you're not seeing a bunch of people play. And nobody's playing this. Nobody's playing anything close to this. And for good reason, because it's probably not very good. But here we are. We're here to have fun. Okay? My rank was higher before, by the way, and I just started doing weird things. My rank, I was actually as high as like, I was like in the 2,000 to 3,000 range. And then stuff happened and I was doing stuff, and then it's just like, I don't really care very much. I'm not, if I had the time, I could probably be a top 1,000 player, but I don't have that kind. I'm not a full-time streamer. Heck, I'm barely as it stands, I'm not even a part-time streamer. Okay, so they put Kitty down. So immediately, let's put Ant-Man. So immediately, I'm thinking Elsa's a possibility, and there she is. And I may have played my Ant-Man in the wrong lane, but that's okay. Because they don't always have to go into the Elsa lane. Oh, we're dealing with 4 energy now. That's something. Okay, so here's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna put Mojo down in the left lane. I'm gonna throw it on the side lock. See what happens. Okay, so they got 2. Okay, and Bishop's one of them. So So that's good. This is not good. If I pull Professor X off of the top here, I could play Professor X in Superflow and lock that down. Okay, that's not what happened, but we're gonna go claw middle, or should we go claw left? Because if you claw now, claw left, then Iron Man, then okay, let's do claw left. Let's see how that goes. Because he's gonna try to avoid that left lane now. And he puts Sarah down. And where's my Mobius? See, this is what I'm saying. Like, I never get the cards when I need the card. The game is always like, yeah, Professor X, right? No triple M. That's a dilemma. So should I put Professor X in the middle here? I'm leaning towards Professor X middle. Okay, that's not great. Oh boy, let's see what he's got here. And is Kitty one of the cards? Naturally, Kitty probably is one of the cards. Oh, the irony, he plays his own Mobius. Yeah, this is not gonna end well for me. Yeah, see, my first instinct was to put Professor X in the right lane. I didn't do that. And because of that, that's going to result in a loss for me. He'll just move Jeff over to Superflow. Yeah. Let's get out of there. Now, sometimes this deck doesn't match up well with something like that, but that doesn't mean I couldn't, that it was an impossible situation. But who knows what would happen if I had put Professor X in that right lane and that was an auto win. Not necessarily an auto win because he would have moved Jeff over, but if I had set it up different where I'd put Claw middle and then Professor X in the right lane, who knows? Okay, this is a better, well, potentially better starting hand than the previous one. Let's see what we got here. Okay, I like Jeff here. Naturally, let's put him in the right lane because who knows what that's gonna be. Could be. See, every time I get I always forget what the Sanctum Sanctorum. I always forget what the name of the location is when I need to remember what it is. Never pops right in my head. Oh, what happens if I put Cosmo in the left lane? This is because I want to put Psylocke. Okay, let's. Oof, this is tough because he's playing Forge, which means he wants to do something. I don't remember the last time I saw Brood. It's been a while, so let's assume that Brood is not his play. All right, Psylocke then. Watch it be Brood. You know, it sucks when you have it red and then you're just like, yeah, guess what? So if he has Absorbing Man, he'll probably play it middle. Man, that sucks. Especially because Necrosha is -2 power right here. Curious what my play line is after this. If in fact he plays into middle, which he didn't. Played Luke Cage. Oh my god. That's okay, because I can get power into there, so that's not a huge deal. think claw. I think just claw here, because yeah. And he goes Iron Man. Okay. Now with claw there, I can pull Jeff out. You know, here's a card. Can't pull Jeff out, because then he could put Jeff in. Well, if he puts Jeff in, that's still only 6 power to my 7. Cosmo? No. No, Cosmo's not the play here, is it? Excuse me. Dang, sorry. Huh. Blue Marvel. There's not a lot of power on the board where it's like Blue Marvel is the right play. Or Spectrum for that matter, because this is 2 ongoing cards. Is Cosmo the play here? No, he's playing Iron Man. It's got to be something like... I'm not sure what to do here. I'm going to put Cosmo down. With Mobius, I guess, just for the power. And I'm gonna leave Jeff just in case just in case. How was my read on that? Looks like it was pretty good, huh? Yeah, I still lost, right? And that's because I was gonna move Jeff into the middle lane, and I didn't. So that was a winnable game, right? Sometimes you just make a piloting error and you're like, you pivot. Then that makes all the difference. But I didn't pivot. I didn't pivot. Didn't pivot. So yeah, that's the Mobius ongoing deck. That's basically just an ongoing deck that has Mobius in it, okay? And he's an ongoing card with a strong effect, so. Luke Cage might have helped me out in that game also, but again, that's very situational. Those location things are here and far between. So that's that. And I appreciate y'all, like I said before. Thank you for anybody that's sticking around and anybody that continues to, I don't know, appreciate this content. I appreciate you for appreciating content. But yeah, like I said, if you like this, hit the like button, please subscribe, and that's it. That's all I got. Gaming with Flash. Catch you guys next time. Peace out.